Live, live from the Crazy Cab Studios. This is live from the pod. Live from the Crazy Cab Studios. This is Fairy Fountain News. Breaking news: Game Freak just had a massive GIGALEAK, on par with the Nintendo GIGALEAK from a few years back. You know, the one where L is real and all that stuff. So far, leaks are still coming out hot off the presses, so this is really breaking news. So, first things first, cutting the formalities. So, the first things first is that the source code for Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Black and White 2 have been leaked, which is great for modders, because the same thing happened with Mario 64. We got the PC port, but Game Freak is a little, I feel like, it's going to attack you like they're doing with Power World, so be careful with that. We're looking all around at about a terabyte of leaks. We also got word about the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is actually under the codename Ounce. This isn't a rumor. This was rumors before. Now it is pretty much set in stone that the console's codename was. We're pretty much getting confirmation that the console's codename is Ounce. Again, this is hot off the presses, guys. I'm literally trying to get the information as we speak, so bear with me on this. So this, again, the source code has been leaked for Heart Gold and Soul Silver. We're looking at about a terabyte of leaks here, which, again, on par with the GIGALEAK. So, starting from the top. So we have the codename for the Switch 2, which is called Ounce. We also have codenames for freaking Gen 10 already, which we don't need, because we haven't even got any news on ZA. We're already getting news on Gen 10. I know that Game Freak kind of works ahead, but, like, come on. Like, I don't give a shit about Gen 10. I just want to know about the current game. I don't want a new game like this every freaking 6 months. Like, come on. I don't care. But, like, yeah, getting information like this is huge. So, again, we got the source code and beta builds of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The code name for Gen 10 is Gaia, and it's being developed. There is a sort of going back and forth between leakers whether or not Gaia is going to be coming to Switch 1 as well as Switch 2. There's a little bit of, miscommunication there. I want to assume that it's just going to be on Switch 2. It'd be way too complicated trying to get it released on Switch 1, and we know how bad they are at developing polished games on the Switch 1, so restricting themselves with having Switch 1 version ready and a Switch 2 version ready just does not seem very good for them. I wouldn't recommend it if they do choose to do that. Codename Gaia has 2 versions currently, Codename K and Codename N. We don't have answers to what this could mean. Again, it's probably some sort of binary thing, but I guess we'll find out in more in this leak potentially, or hopefully in like 2 years from now. Again, I do not want to be hearing about Gen 10 as soon as ZA comes out, so they need to chill on that. Again, there is a mention of a Switch 1 version. Well, they're probably testing it on Switch 1 and eventually be released on Switch 2, which honestly, if they're able to get it polished on Switch 1, it just means that we're going to have a banger right out the gate with the Switch 2, even if it doesn't take advantage of all the Switch 2's perks. We also got some Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Black and White leaked music and sprites and things like the beta builds from the Space World for Gen 2, right? We are now getting it for Heart Gold and Black and White 2. Okay, so codename Synapse. Currently, a brand new Pokemon game is being worked on with as a collaboration between Game Freak and Ilka, and it's not a remake this time. And it is a MMO, which is insane because, I mean, Pokemon MMO is a thing, but I don't know how that will be with a actual game. And then there's just a ton of screenshots of like files and things. Canceled Game Freak DS game about fighting and risking bugs. So again, a rising bug. So Game Freak again is continuing to work on games outside of Pokemon. They just do not have time. All right, again, this is literally only a tiny snippet of everything that we learned here. I'm hoping that we get some sort of DA news out of this, or at least like concrete Switch 2 news, but probably not. We will have a follow-up to this GIGALEAK next week, because technically, well, this is something I would have covered anyway, but it's still actively happening as we're doing the show. Which is funny because I already had a joke lined up. I guess we can get into it. Tonight's top stories, other than this GIGALEAK here, Nintendo goes woke and a new Halo on the horizon. Obviously, our sponsors, as always, are Dubby. If you haven't already checked them out, if you haven't already checked them out, the affiliate link will always be in the description below, or you can always use code CrazyCap for 10% off at checkout. Something that they do want us to promote is that they are going to be pushing hard the Dubby Hydro. This is basically the actually something I actually referred to in the Dubby video, which hasn't come out at the time of this recording yet, and it probably won't by the time that the video gets uploaded. But in that video, I talked about like those like things for water that sort of add electrolytes and things like that to it, and just the flavors are always awful, and so that's what I was worried about with Dubby. Not the case. Dubby is great, but they also have these hydro caffeine-free hydration formulas as well. So they're pushing that, and they're also pushing that for a limited time only. Their cans are becoming back. Again, all zero sugar, all the same energy drinks. They're pushing it in the can, so the drink is effectively already made for you. I might buy a few just to try before they go, because it is only for a limited time. But I highly recommend that you get those now as soon as you freaking possibly can. Link is in the description. Use code CrazyCat for 10% off your order. Anyways, continuing on. Obviously, again, we did not have a video this past week, but we are working on some. I would like to take this time to announce that we are working on a ton of prediction videos, as it is now Switch 2 season. So at any point between now and December, they are going to be announcing the Switch 2. I really hope it's not all the way until next year, because that'll be a really long time to wait. But hopefully between now and December, we will be getting the Switch 2 news. So predictions will be just coming out, you know, right at your face. As day one, the Switch 2 comes out, I'm getting a reaction video out, prediction video out. Literally the day that they announced that they're announcing the Switch 2, prediction video going out. So just a ton of prediction videos are going to be coming your way. That's why we're taking a little bit of a break here. Again, we're literally just recapping a lot of older content, because we're literally entering a new era for our channel. So stay tuned, y'all. Exciting things are coming. Anyway, as a little bit of a recap. Oh yes, right. The sponsor of this video is you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have been giving on the series. A lot of the views have been going up, and we really appreciate that. If you want to help us out in any way that you can, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. Let me know what you guys want me to cover in the next episode in the comments down below. Anything you related that you want me to talk about that I didn't cover, I will cover it. Let me know in the comments. Also, you can help us out over on Patreon, patreon.com/CrazyCapStudios. You can help us out over there by even dropping just a $1 tier. You can get exclusive content that we release over there, as well as updates on new episodes and things like that. And by simply supporting us again at the $1 tier, I can get a freaking better camera, because this camera is freaking ugly. Or I can buy the games that we play here on the channel, so that we can cover them and do reviews and things like that. Alright, let's do a quick recap on the last week. Nintendo strikes down Ryujinx. Nothing has really come of that. Haven't really seen any follow-up information on that. Usually people are like, well, check out this other emulator if you want to do that, but I legally can't do that if I want this series to be successful. So but even then, I hadn't seen anyone really talk about it after that. I think, again, Nintendo probably tried to cover up with the F-Zero news, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then they also released that new hardware that was rumored as well, so we'll be getting into that. And the PlayStation Xbox server shutdowns. response on that. We really don't know why that was happening. So if you do, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do a follow-up thing discussing why those server shutdowns happen. So what released this week? Obviously, we had the big release of the Silent 2 remake. I actually got that wrong, or Silent Hill 2 remake. I got that wrong last week. The Until Dawn remake came out last week, and this week the Silent Hill 2 remake came out. We also had the huge release of the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game. That's pretty big for Dragon Ball fans. It covers a lot of things. It's the return of the Budokai series, so a lot going on with that. And finally, also literally a Game of the Year contender, Metaphor ReFantazio from the minds of Persona 3, 4, and 5. I would love to check it out at some point, but I would like to play a Persona game first. All great games for the industry, and we pretty much have our lineup, which is crazy for Game of the Year. My personal thought is going to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Black Myth Wukong, and potentially Helldivers 2, but that kind of fell off a little bit toward the end there, so probably Warhammer, but I didn't hear a whole lot about Warhammer. What would be great to see is Astrobot just kind of sneak in there real quick. That would be really funny and awesome at the same time. So, no Nintendo games this year. Highly doubt Brothership is even like a freaking thought in those people's minds. So, you know, what are you gonna do? And then obviously Zelda just kind of came out to like mid reviews overall. Like, it was great, but like I don't think it wasn't like glowing or anything. Not that anyone at, you know, the Game Awards would even give a crap, because it's not a AAA mainline Zelda game. It's a top-down game, so it's like a spin-off, and it's like, why are you selling it for $60? I hate that mindset, but that's just the way it is. Alright, so what are the actual news for this week? Halo Studios is formed. 343 has now changed their name to Halo Studios. They have a ton of Halo games in the works currently, and they've moved over from the Halo engine over to Unreal 5, so maybe potential more epic collaborations looking in their future. So that's great. Good Halo news there. Again, from the mediocre release of Infinite, I'm happy to see that we have some good Halo news going forward. Not a huge fan of the series myself. I own the Master Chief Collection, I couldn't get past the controls. So let me know how big of a news this is for you guys Halo fans in the comments down below. Alright, so Nintendo firmware version 19.0.0. You want to know what it had in it? Stability. Nothing new. We're getting ready for the Switch 2, so not really much else that we could do. But again, themes would be nice, but it's too late in the game at this point. Alright, so Mario Party Jamboree has a live demo that you can go check out at your local Target or anywhere that has the Nintendo Switch kiosk, so you can play the game early if you so choose, but otherwise it's going to be coming out here in just a few weeks, so patience, young one. And it's literally not that long of a wait at this point, so you get excited for that. Looks like it's going to be a good game, because I'm not a huge Mario Party fan, but this is starting to look like a return to form for the series. So good for you guys. Next up is that potential AI hardware thing that that was leaked a few weeks ago. We weren't sure, but there's an alternative hardware. What was basically rumored was that there's an alternative hardware that Nintendo was working on that's going to be announced before the Switch 2. That's not the Switch 2. And it potentially may use AI, and that was Nintendo Alarmo. Nintendo Alarmo is shaping up to, it was basically a Nintendo-themed alarm clock. This way you can wake up to Nintendo jams, and then, of course, as they do because it's Nintendo, they gamified it. Basically, as you move around in bed, you collect some coins, collect some rupees, and once you sit up and actually get out of bed, the alarm will turn off automatically. So that's pretty cool. That's probably where like some of the AI features come into play. But if you hit the thing, it goes into snooze mode, which means the alarm clock gets angry, and then instead of being slowly woken up by Mr. Super Mario or maybe Princess Toadstool, you're instead woken up by evil Bowser Man, who instead of giving you coins throws fireballs in your face, and the music gets more aggressive and louder and really gets your ass out of bed. So it's a pretty interesting concept, just not really my cup of tea. Also, it's available already and people already have their hands on it, which is just absolutely insane. But it comes at the low cost of $100. So if you have it, if you have the money to spend, I guess cool. But like, this is going to be one of those things that I'm going to have to sit on for just a little bit because I am broke. Unless you guys want to pay Patreon. This is a joke, obviously. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. But again, people, it's part of me wants to say it's a little tone deaf because people are just waiting for the Switch 2, and it's like, this is all the news that you have to offer us. Like, I don't even give a damn if you have, we don't need any more game news. We just need what is the next hardware. If we go into next year already February, March with a new direct before any word on the Switch 2, I think people will be angry. So Nintendo, if you're listening, release the trailer next week. We want to know what's going on with the Switch 2. Anyways, the final thing is even more of a mystery. Nintendo announces an NSO play test thing. Basically, on the 8th, they announced it, that on the 9th, if you are already a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack member, you'd be able to enlist in this thing. There was only like 10,000 slots, and at 8 a.m. the next morning, you could apply for this thingy, and you would be accepted or not accepted. Basically, from what I understood, it got filled up within a millisecond of it opening up. A millisecond, all 10,000 slots were filled. That was insane. I tried to get into it. It had an error code. People were blowing this thing up. However, we still don't know what it is. We won't even be able to find out what... I mean, people just blindly join this playtest thingy, and we don't even know what it is yet, and we won't know until the 20th. Also, Nintendo released a silly statement in that you cannot share out what this particular playtest is. People ain't gonna do that shit. People ain't gonna listen to you. They didn't sign no NDA. That shit gonna leak the day before. So they know that. Like, I don't know why they even thought about putting that information in there. But again, a lot of this stuff is basically going to be follow-up information. We won't really know what's going to be going on with that until it happens. And again, with like Nintendo Alarmo, we know what it is. We have it in our hands, but we know what it is. We have it in our hands, but like, I don't have it, so like, I can't like give you guys like a first-hand like word on it. Okay, so I actually forgot about a pretty big release announcement that happened yesterday at the time of recording this, so Friday. They had the announcement of the next 6 Tomb Raider games remastered. So if you remember from, I think, last year or a few years back, they announced the Tomb Raider trilogy remastered. They're also doing the next 3 games, so that'll be coming out fairly soon as well. It looks pretty good. I believe you can swap between art styles as well, so... pretty fantastic for those that enjoy the Tomb Raider series. Alright, again, usually this would be where you guys would leave comments and I would talk about news that I didn't cover before. And of course, don't forget to check out Dubby. The link is always in the description below. You can join our Discord. Yeah, you don't even need to be a part of Patreon to join the Discord. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah. My name is Jaden, aka Slime Boss. This has been Fairy Fountain News, live from the Crazy Cap Studios. Have a good night.